Hello, hello, and welcome to Ukraine Untold, where I read my great-grandmother's century-old memoirs from Soviet Ukraine. Now, I don't normally do a prelude, but with all that's happening in the world right now, I thought it was appropriate. As Americans, we are the beacons of light for the darkness in this world. But democracy is frail and should never be taken for granted. Rome fell, so can America, if we're not careful. Everyone, the Ukrainians, the Russians, the Palestinians, the Israelis, every human being in this world has the right to a peaceful existence, which is impossible if tyranny and terrorism rule over the land. We must stand with those who fight for freedom and liberty and justice for all.
Grandma dear, what are you doing? Why have you collected breadcrumbs from the tablecloth? And I see you have wrapped them in paper towels. There on the counter stands a box with 2 loaves of bread, even your favorite, natural rye. And speaking of paper towels, what a mess on the racks in the oven. Why do you hang there several paper towels already used after yesterday's supper? I do not answer at once. I think. I chuckle. I look and I watch there, deep in the maze of my memories. The years 1917 to 1943, being citizens in the Soviet paradise, were the darkest, most terrible-filled sadness of my family's life. My husband, an honest, brave man, an excellent scientist and writer, was tortured to death in the cellars of the NKVD in 1938. Joseph Stalin, a devil maniac who got unlimited power over millions of people of different nations, started to destroy the intellectuals, the best and the brightest brains. He killed almost all of his comrades, men and women, party leaders, all who he thought would oppose him. In 1938, frightened by the mass executions of citizens, the farmers gave up their property, including their houses and even small patches of land, forced into the slavery of the collective farms because of Stalin's artificial famine, taking even the last crumbs of bread from the farmers' families, the last drop of milk from the children. They killed 7 million Ukrainians, honest laborers, Christian farmers. In the winter, when the temperature was 40 to 45 below zero at night, the brigades of the communists and their agents were traveling the roads in the snow. Women, kids, old people, sick people. If someone tried to protest or get in their way, death on the spot. Those who stayed alive were loaded onto the platforms of the freight trains and animal wagons. Without food or water, they started a long, terrible journey to death. To Siberia. Millions of human beings were sent to these secret camps, to the gulags, not marked on any maps. The occupation of Ukraine by the Nazi army in 1941 to 1942 didn't bring any changes. Another maniac, Adolf Hitler, planned to cross Ukraine further over by Iran-Iraq, then called Persia, to India, and then to get total power over the continent. The Germans already occupied Austria, France, and Denmark. The nations of the East and Western Europe were deeply involved in terrible mass destruction. Being torn from the roots of our lands, millions of Jews, Ukrainians, Hollanders, and French prisoners were forced behind the wire into the horror of death in the gas chambers. These pictures stay forever in my memory. How can we forget, or how can we explain this terror of the 20th century? I, and all of us who were involved in World War I and World War II, torn from our roots, mostly suffering, frightened, confused, persecuted, killed. Who has to be forgiven? Who has to be judged? Who has to be blamed? How can we understand our beautiful planet Earth, created and given to us with so many magnificent possibilities and perspectives? To live under the beautiful dome of the sky, with the sun, the moon, the myriads of stars, planets, and unknown galaxies, the unlimited boundaries of the universe, and perhaps the most valuable, most beautiful, most mysterious, and most misunderstood, the human brain, the human spirit, and the human soul.
Під кипятком. А ну.
Скоренько упала.
Так, тихенько. Кіндер-сюрприз. О, то вони ж... Це й нормально, диви, розмерзлося.
Бляха-муха. Та не трогай її, хватай, що я трогаю.
Я ж показую підписчикам, що у нас льот.
Це і так видно, під ногті залазить. Не можу, бля. Та все, там вже не є.
О, нічого так.
Зараз буде нормальний такий обід.
Яйце заморожене обикновенне є.
Ну, візьми води, злий на руку.